life be like, ooh, yeah, ooh. My life be like, ooh, yeah, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. My life be like, ooh, yeah. My life be like times like these that make me say, yeah. Lord, if you see me, please come my way. Like leaving breadcrumbs for when I stray. Yeah, a lot of sacrifice and the price you pay. I feel me like a fingertip. Sometimes I fall, I slip. Yeah, heart felt to tie me more like you. Try not to put your fire with the things I do. I'm on an island by my lonesome stranded. Low key and staying candid. Reflect on all the things I try my hand at. Search for the equations to persuasions I'm used to. Finding comfort in the zones of clouds and bones I get loose to. A mountain is Fontaine. Spinning in monsoon and grinning is high octane. Explosive how I came. Rolling down the hills cause life's a hassle. Encircled by my folly like a moat around the castle. Stay afloat. Catch a second wind. Thin is the air I breathe. Teary-eyed nose running. Wipe the snout on my sleeve. I'm calling on the Savior to be all that I need. Please forgive me, my behavior had me lost in light speed. Times like these that make me say.
So, why did I play that video? Well, let me tell you why I played that video. That's my home. And the reason it's significant is I believe we're here to talk about success with real estate, different concepts like that. And I'm a CPA, so we can sit up here and we can talk about debits and credits and balance sheets and income statements and everybody take a nap while I'm talking, or we can talk about practical principles on creating wealth. See, my grandfather was full-blood Indian. I'm from Oklahoma. Everybody, alcoholics, abusive. We literally have stories of us eating roadkill. We were that poor. Now, my mom, before she passed, was sure to say, didn't stop and pick up dead animals. But if one was in the road, my dad was going to hit it with a car, and that became dinner. So God's blessed me. Nobody in my family ever went to college. My mom's the only person to ever graduate high school. I'm the first person to go to college. And so, I've created some pretty significant wealth. I've created an environment to create success because what I've done is I'm a CPA. I'm an entrepreneur that just happens to be trained as a CPA and a personal financial advisor. We have clients in about every state of the United States, multiple countries. The biggest thing I'm proud of is all three of my sons work for me. We have a massive growth plan going on. So let's talk about success. And I want everybody here, really, if anybody's to get some applause, it's you. I don't know if you've noticed, and I really wish they would shut the doors because it's sunny and I'm kidding about the doors. It's sunny, it's warm, it's a Friday. Who on earth wants to be sitting inside listening to a CPA talk? I don't even want to be in here. Okay, there we go. He wins the prize. But that's my point is you're here. You're here for a reason. You're here to seek knowledge. See, we live in the greatest country on the planet. And literally Warren Buffett says we won the ovarian lottery just being born or living here. And there's opportunities everywhere. The problem is most people think success comes from being really, really lucky. Now, my family, again, most of my family never even graduated high school, both sides. And so they pretty much think I'm a drug dealer. Look at the way I'm dressed. I kind of reinforce that being a drug dealer, right? They can't accept that there is a path to success. And one of the things that we do at our firm is we teach that path, the path to success, whether it's in real estate or investing, or if you're a plumber or a doctor or whatever. There is a defined path for success. The problem is most people don't want to do the work. We deal a lot with people in the real estate business, and most of them want to hit the home runs. And they come in and they talk about all this grandeur stuff. The reality is being successful in the real estate business a lot of times just means being willing to pick up the phone. So because I'm going to tell you, there's in the real estate business, whether you're an investor or what have you, there's a lot of competition for the good stuff. By the time it gets to the realtors, guess what? There's 100 other people looking at it. So you've got to go beyond and think outside the box, because being successful is being lucky, but being lucky means having opportunities and not procrastinating. So the house, let's talk about that house that was on the video. 25,000 square feet, has 109 interior doors, 33 exterior doors. There are 13 bathrooms, 3 kitchens, 3 laundry rooms. The master suite has 7 closets. It has an extra bedroom attached to the master bedroom because I have grandkids, and by the way, they're on the inside of my jacket. Is that freaking cool or what? That when they spend the night with me, 25,000 square feet, I can't have them way on the other side. I want them close to me. So it's got a separate bedroom. It's got a craft room the size of about a third of this room that for craft. I don't do crafting. My wife does. She's got a closet for her purses. I like shoes and boots. I got some really cool stuff. I've got a massive closet full of stuff. So here's the story. I've done well because I figure crap out. I figure out how to make things happen. So I get a call. I get a call from my son, or actually a text from my oldest son, because we had a nice place, about a 5,000 square foot house. We have a ranch and horses and cattle, and thought this was our forever home. And this smart aleck sends me this link to this house, 25,000 square foot house. Dad, you ought to buy this house. So who needs a 25,000 square foot house? That's obscene. That's stupid. So come to find out, the guy that, there's a doctor that had been building this house for about 12 years, off and on. He had $6.2 million tied up. 9 acres. He had a turbo helicopter, so it's got a $250,000 Morton building that's all air conditioned and heated. It's got a 2,000 square foot pool house there. So the house was at the sheetrock phase, right? It wasn't finished to the sheetrock phase. Dude has $6.2 million in it. We go and look at it. The realtor's asking $4.9, I think. So we go and look at it for fun. My wife and I, our kids are grown. It's us, 2 dogs, 25,000 square foot house. We're going to go look at it. It's going to be fun. So we go look at it. Let me tell you, it's winter. It's cold. No electricity in the house. We're walking around with our phones as flashlights. Bats flying around the house. I kid you not, bats flying around the house. And so most people say, oh, that's incredible, it's incredible. And they go home and go about their life, right? I get excited because bats in a house, that means opportunity, right? So I had just finished reading a book by Chris Voss. It's called Negotiate as If Your Life Depended Upon It, Never Split the Difference. Great book if you're a reader. I liked it on Audible because he tells stories about personalities and dealing with hostage negotiations and stuff like that. It's great. But in this book, and it's common sense, we've all heard it, he says, basically you need to let the other side make show their cards first, or if you have to show your cards first, set an extreme anchor. Set an extreme anchor means $6.2 million, 4.9 asking price. I'm going to offer him 1.1. 1.1 million. The realtor said, I'm not even going to write that down. I said, well, take it to him. And here's what happened. 2 days later, they come back, 6.2, 4.9 asking price, counter at $1.9 million. They came down $3 million. So I ended up buying the house at 1.5. Now, the crazy thing is, and the thing that I want you to get out of a lot of this stuff is, for me personally, I believe sometimes God puts opportunities out there and just wants to see if we'll pursue it. And so, yay, I'm buying a house, 1.9. Matter of fact, I said, holy crap, what did I get myself into? But 1.5. So, but then I got to go get a bank. And at this point in time, I'm very successful, and banks give me money for about anything. They wouldn't loan. I have relationships with about 8 different banks. Not a single one of those banks would loan me money on a house that appraises at $7 million the way it's set when I'm buying at 1.5, because they were afraid. The same thing applies to other people that looked at the house. Once it got out what I bought that house for, there were builders that were literally mad at me because they didn't have the guts to make the offer. See, I've never been that guy. My wife is up in the hotel room, and we've been married 33 years. First time I met her at 14, I was a punk. I grew up on the wrong side of town, long hair. I can't tell you the things I've done because I'm not sure the statute of limitations has ran, but I was that guy. Lots of fights, baseball bat scar between the eyes, lead pipe up here. I was that guy. She was this smoking hot cheerleader, Colgate smile, curly hair. I'm sorry, Bryce, smoking hot. First time I met her, I asked her to marry me. Of course, she turned me down. Matter of fact, I think she threw up in her mouth a little bit, but she turned me down. But guess who she's married to today? Because luck is faced with opportunity and not procrastinating and not stopping. I went to 8 different banks, and every one of them said no. They kept saying this movie Money Pit. Anybody ever heard of that money? Yeah. So there's something ain't right. Something isn't right. Well, what wasn't right is the guy that was building the house. Choices. My understanding is 13 kids by different women, white powder. I'm not saying anything bad about him. He made some life choices and got himself into a situation. I just read a book, and I just forgot the name of the author, but the title of the book is called Shut Up and Listen. And the funny thing is one of my employees gave that to me. I don't know what they were trying to say, but they said, shut up. The book, Shut Up and Listen. And in the book, the guy that wrote the book owns the Houston Rockets, and he owns Landry's, I think, and a bunch of other restaurants. There you go. So he says, shut up and listen, name and title, but he says, when times are tough, eat the weak and build your business. See, the problem is we tend to think when times are tough, we retract. That's the time when you go forward. Warren Buffett says, be greedy when other people are fearful and when other people are greedy. So people were fearful of this 25,000 square foot house. Banks were fearful. Builders were fearful. You can't imagine the number of people that have come up to me and said, I looked at that house. So what I did, I could have stopped because nobody loaned me money. Because not only did I need the money to buy it, I need another $2 million to finish it. So I go to the bank that holds the note. And it's a weird deal. They are owed $1.5 million, which is exactly what I got them to sell it to me for. And I just told them, I don't know what your options are, but I'm here. You got to loan me 1.5 plus a $2 million construction loan. You can do it at whatever interest rate you want, because once I finish this bad boy, I'll have 8 banks lined up that will want to take it over because they're afraid of the unknown. And they did it. And it took me 6 months to get financing on this house. Once we got it, we went through it, and it's a crazy thing, but it's an incredible thing. The trim carpenters putting stuff around the top and the bottom, they were in there 9 months. They were squatters. I couldn't get them to leave, but it's such a huge house. Do you see the workout room? Somebody this morning asked me how I stay in shape. Do you see the workout room? It's downstairs. It's about half the size of this room, right there in my own house. So now what I do is I have a house that I have $3.5 million into that's worth $7 million. Because I'll tell you this, I tell everybody that your home is not an investment. It's an asset. It's a cost. Don't pay your stupid house off with investment money. It's a cost. Finance it. I don't care if you're 70 years old. Finance that thing for 30 years, lower the cost of using it, and take that money and invest or create a lifestyle, create cash flow for yourselves. That bad boy is an investment. Now, unfortunately, my wife has been involved, so I was going to flip it, but we live there now. So, that was a learning experience. I shouldn't have let her get involved there. But what I also did is I took that home and I went to existing banking relationships, and I've got about a $2 million line of credit. And I've taken that $2 million line of credit and I'm accelerating the pace of growth in my primary practice through acquisitions. So the whole point of that story is not look at me, because, dude, I grew up in a trailer. If you want to, here's the problem. I still think I'm pretty much a badass. I think I'm tough. Everybody in here, probably including most of the women, could probably whip me, but in my mind, I'm tough. So I'm nothing special. What I am is I don't quit. I don't give up. I find a way to make things happen. I don't pray to God for opportunities. I pray to God to keep me from doing stupid stuff. If you don't want me to walk through that door, you better weld it shut, bolt it, chain it, because I'm going to beat my head against that thing until I figure it out. And if you want to be successful in America, ultra successful, that's the attitude you've got to have. So, at one time, I think I had 300 units as far as rental properties. I still have a pretty significant amount of real estate. Here's how I got them. And here's how I would tell you to get them. Don't sit around and wait for realtors. It's public record who owns things. And I don't want anybody to get angry with me. This has nothing to do with age or sex or race, or I don't care who you are, what you think you are. Find out if there's apartment buildings, fourplexes, eightplexes, apartment complexes. Now, I like multi-units. I've never really done anything with rent houses. I've flipped some houses, and that's been kind of fun. But I like multiple units because they're predictable. Do you understand, in investing in life, you can take things that aren't predictable and make them predictable. With enough time in investments, Bryce is one of the best in the country with helping people with their investments, cash flow strategies. With enough time, we can make things predictable. Do you know you're married? Anybody married, your marriage is predictable as well? When us guys, when I was pursuing that hot little cheerleader, I was very intentional. I thought about what I looked like. I thought about the words that came out of my mouth. I thought about when I was going to see her next. Then you get married and you go, what's for dinner? You sit over. There's no pursuit. So it's predictable. With your relationship with your kids is predictable. Your spiritual relationship is predictable. Your financial situation is predictable. So go and find out who owns those properties. A lot of times it's elderly people. And they're not selling them because they don't want to pay the taxes. And they kind of like the cash flow. I started at one point in time, I had several $1 million worth of real estate that I had no bank loans on. They were all owner carry. And so I would go and find out who owns this or who owns that. And I would go to them and I would know their situation because, okay, I really want this apartment complex. You've done a great job. I'll pay you market value or maybe even a little above market value. But here's what I need you to do. I need you to carry the note for a 20-year amortization. We'll put a 3-year balloon on it or a 5-year balloon, depending on when you want the rest of your money. Because you've got to play the game. Did you know it's a lot easier to refinance a property at 100% than it is to purchase a property? Very few banks will give you money, 100% of the property. They're going to make you put 10, 20% down. So, but if you already own the property and can get an appraisal above what you bought it for, you can get 100% financing. I did that many, 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 many times. Because the person who had it, I'm able to pay their asking price, maybe even above their asking price, because all I'm looking at is cash flow. I've had them do 25 or 30-year amortization with a 3 or 5-year balloon because they don't care. And spreading the note out, the sales price out, they get to spread the income taxes out. So do that. Go to some CPA firms. You know, anybody that has young kids or about to go into college, I'm going to tell you the secret, the gold mine is being a CPA and being in public accounting. Because guess what? I see everything. My son is 31 years old, and he's already got several $1 million of real estate, the little craphead. Because he'll meet with a client, and he's doing the tax return of the client, and the client tells him, I kind of like to sell these someday. Or he's proactive, he's intentional. If you ever want to sell those, call me. We do it on the financial side. We have one of the top financial practices in the country, because clients would come into us and say, you know, my husband just started a mowing business. So I ask, is your husband still employed at ConocoPhillips? No. What do you do with his 401k? It's still there because we don't know what to do with it. We get $1 million rollover. And so we're building equity like that. We have the keys to the treasure chest. How about this? How about doing something really crazy? How about you, even if you're not an accountant, go buy a freaking accounting practice. It only takes a few home runs to pay for that bad boy. Why do you think I'm in Houston, Texas right now? The reason I'm here is because we have offices 2.5 hours away. And in the last 4 days, I've met with 5 CPA firms totaling about $6 million. Do I want $6 million more worth of work and employees? And no. What I want access to those clients so that I can help them, relieve them from their real estate, and help them with their financial planning, because that's the keys. But sometimes you got to think outside the box. And that's why I love the people that are sitting in here. You know, we do this stuff all the time. We literally have workshops at my house every other month. And there'll be 75 people that say they'll be there. Some of them come just to see the dang house, and that's okay. Some of them come to see the funny guy in the pink suit, and that's okay. By the way, have you ever read the book, The Purple? You understand what a purple cow is? Not purple, but you're not going to forget me. What's on the inside of my jacket? Not going to forget that, are you? When you need a CPA, you're going to think, what was that crazy pink suit wearing with what's his name? And you'll call me, because we have clients all over the country. And so you've got to step your game up. You've got to be a different person. You've got to show up on a Friday, beautiful Friday afternoon, and sit in a room when 100 other people said they would be here, and they're not. You're the winner, they're the loser. Because I go to all kinds of stuff, and I don't care if I'm the only person in the room, because that speaker, I'm going to look for one thing that somebody's going to say, and it's going to make me $1 million. Because I can take something and run with it. So what are you going to take and run with it? You got to think outside the box. Get a relationship with a realtor. We've done some flip houses. I looked and found in my accounting practice, guy was a builder, wife's a realtor. What do? I go to them and say, you're a realtor, you see deals that come up, you're a builder, you can do the work, well, let's partner up and let's flip some houses. So she would find houses that were in good neighborhoods that we could get for about $40 a square foot. He would do the work. I would write some checks, and we'd put about $50,000 into that house and turn around and make $18,000 to $20,000 worth of profit every time. But it's because I didn't sit back and think, I'm going to do the work. I'm going to have to find everything. You've got to think outside the box. You've got to come to a workshop on a beautiful Friday and be different. Set yourself apart. See, there's thousands of CPAs in this city. All of them are technicians. Almost all of them are technicians. Because, like I said earlier, we're not taught our system of economics in this country. We're taught how to be a good technician, be a good doctor, be a good plumber, be a good accountant, or whatever. Ultra successful people think outside the box, refuse to quit, identify opportunities, and don't procrastinate. And you figure crap out. So I've done multiple units. Right now I've switched because of the pain in the butt factor. I have some commercial property quite a bit. I don't have any residential stuff. Actually, I own 34 condos, and I've sold those all contract for deed, which is a great thing. Did you know, and I don't want this to sound off base or whatever, I like to learn. And did you know people during tax season when people are getting refunds, a lot of people get boob jobs? That's a huge deal with their tax refunds. We got a couple of clients that are plastic surgeons, and a lot of people will go and buy a $40,000 condo, $3,000 down on it, 9 months later, give it back. Because they'll do stupid stuff with money. And I'm not taking advantage of them. I'm creating an opportunity. If they just stick to it and make their payments, but I don't ever have to collect. I don't ever have to do anything because they come to me because they want out of it. And then I just turn around and sell it later. I had a friend of mine, good buddy of mine. He came to me and he said, Paul, I want to get in the real estate business. I said, okay. I had about $1 million worth of condos, and I said, I'll sell these to you, contract for deed, give me $50,000 so you have some skin in the game, and you can have them. 3 years later, he comes back to me and says, Paul, these things suck. I said, what do you mean they suck? Well, he said, I literally had to put $5,000 into them last year. I had a negative cash flow of $5,000. I said, okay, well, let's think about this. Let's look at your tax return, and your tax return, it saved you about $8,000 because it has a bigger tax loss because of the timing difference between depreciation and interest and principal payments. So it saved him about $8,000. Then I said, so you put 5 in, IRS gave you 8. Then let's look at the beginning of the year, the end of the year, you paid your note down $12,000 with other people's money. So you put 5 in and got 8 back and created equity of 12. That's $20,000. So you have $15,000. You got 20 back and you put 5 in. So how about you write me a check for 20 and I'll write you a check for 5. That's a pretty good deal, right? So he didn't think outside the box. But then he says, yeah, but Paul, $15,000 return on $1 million sucks. I said, you're a freaking idiot. You've only put $50,000 in. You made $15,000 positive cash flow on $50,000 out of your pocket. Shut up and get out of my office. The great part of the story is, boyfriend came back 3 days later and said, I just don't want them. Take them back. Okay. So I kept his 50, all the principal, sold them the same day for $80,000 more than, same thing, contract for deed to somebody else. See, people are successful because they think outside the box and they're intentional. And even though I took this guy through this path and explained to him he's a knucklehead, and I did a great deal for him, he walked away. Times are tough. Eat the weak and grow your business. So the thing I want you to get out of this today is 2 things. Obviously, if you need help with tax returns, investments, if you've got, whatever, going to inherit some money, need some planning, give us a call. hoodcpas.com, hoodcpas.com. We're glad to help you. We have clients everywhere. But also, celebrate who you are. Celebrate why you're here while other people are not. I love. I make money. My business grows the most when things are down. People come to me right now, oh my gosh, Biden's in the White House and our 401ks and oh my gosh. And I just say, get excited. Because when times are tough, the weak roll up over in a corner And us that show up on a Friday to a real estate workshop rule the world because they're going to do stupid stuff. Warren Buffett also says that the stock market is a great place for transferring wealth from impatient people to patient people. The same thing happens in real estate. Again, thinking outside the box. I've made a lot of money by watching when somebody dies. And they've got a house. And they've got some knucklehead kid that just wants some cash. I bought a lot of properties that way below market value by walking up and saying, hey, I got cash. Or I've got, buying them. So you don't wait. Don't wait. Success is not going to pursue you. You pursue success. You do things that other people are not willing to do. And you'll create a lifestyle that they can't have. And that video's fun. My wife did that, and my middle son, you got the Star Wars music and the gate opening and this monstrous house. A couple of my cars. That's all stuff. You know why I showed you that is not to brag. It's because success breeds success. And I can sit up here and I can do all kinds of talk. Showing that video creates credibility. And not that, means I'm anything special, but you pay attention. Wearing a nice hot pink suit with my grandkids in it, you pay attention. But I'm telling you, I'm nothing special. Literally come from the wrong side of the tracks. Here's an example. This lead pipe. So when you're poor, you don't have, you just do what you can do. We're playing a game, this circle, bunch of kids in the neighborhood circle. One person in the middle throws a lead pipe in the air and tries to get out of the circle before the lead pipe comes down. Well, who do you think the knucklehead didn't get out of the circle and the lead pipe came right down on my head? That's the kind of crap I grew up doing. So it's not about who you are. It's about what you're willing to do. So I have zero doubt. And again, I don't care your race. I don't care your sex. I don't care if you think there's 5 genders or 2 genders. Shut up and let's get busy. Because the problem in this country is we have victim mentality. We have, do you think people owe me something? I don't owe you jack squat. Imagine LeBron James being born in some third world country. The God-given talent. Now, he worked hard. God-given talent that he's got. Had he not been born in this country, the benefit of him being born in this country versus being born in some third world country, he of all people should be the first person to stand and put his hand on his heart for our Pledge of Allegiance because he is a blessed man for being born in our country. We're all blessed to be born in this country because you all have the opportunities. So just think outside the box, figure shit out, make it happen. So any questions for me or anything? That's all I've got.
Hey, can we get the name of your tailor?
So, check this out. I even have my name inside of it, Paul Hood. No, it's a company. It's called Tom James. There's several of them. It's a national company. Tom James, they'll come right to your house, and they have this suit's about a $4,000 suit, but they've got them for $800, and they make them to your fitting and everything. And Tom James, great company.